everyone, it's Kristen over at Retro Cafe Art Gallery, and today I have some really cool new products to show you that were just listed in the shop. These are plastic molds from Stamperia, and they come in a bunch of cool themes. This one's probably my favorite. It's Alice in Wonderland and has several different characters for you to cast. This one, I'm just going to show you a couple of them. This one has really cool watch parts or gears. Here's another one of my favorites. It has a bunch of wings and hearts and crowns and just so many pieces that would be really great. And what I really like about these molds is some of the pieces that you can cast are quite large. They're generously sized, and so you could use them for lots of projects, but they have some nice little small ones too on there. And these molds are thin and flexible, and you can use them with pretty much any cold cast materials such as resin, paper clay, polymer clay, all of those types of things. And so this is the A4 size, which is, you know, kind of a nice 3D mold. They also have an A5 size. I'll show you one of those. So this is more for making texture sheets and that kind of thing. And there are, I want to point out, there's a positive and negative. So on the negative side, you can actually fill it, take a little squeegee, fill it with some icing paste or some clay or resin even, and make a nice thin texture sheet that you can use on several different projects. Or you can actually flip it over and use the positive side, and you could press it into some clay. So that would be a nice option too. Just kind of roll out some clay and press it in there, kind of like you would do with a rubber stamp. So there are several different designs of those, and those are all on the website at www.retrocafeart.com. And I know we've been playing a lot with this amazing casting resin. It is a 2-part resin that cures in under 5 minutes, and it cures white. And I've had a lot of questions about it, so I thought I would use this video also to highlight that. So we're just going to go ahead and get started, and I will show you how I use this resin, and we will use one of the new molds. So what I like to do is use these inexpensive Dixie cups, because then you can just throw them away too, because obviously anything you use with resin, you're going to want to throw away the mixing cups afterwards. You're not going to be able to reuse them. So these are just a nice cheap little way to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and I just kind of eyeball it, to be honest. I'm going to fill it probably about 1/2 inch. When I'm working with this fast cast resin, I really like to just do like basically one mold cavity at a time, because it does set up really fast. So there's my first part. Pouring in my second part now. Okay, they look about even. I found that it doesn't really have to be 100% perfect. And what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to put my gloves on now. It's definitely a good idea, just in case you do spill some resin. It's a lot quicker to clean up if you have some gloves on. Okay, now I'm going to just go ahead and pour my 2 parts together with the Dixie cup still. And then what I do is I just go ahead and stack them, because that just makes it easier. Okay, and you're going to just mix it up with your popsicle stick. And I am actually going to go ahead and use the new Alice in Wonderland mold, and you will probably see it transform while we are on film. Okay, so what's nice about the Dixie cups is you can then bend them to kind of create like a little spout. So I'm just going to go ahead and, you know, I'm going to do Alice. So I'm going to just go ahead and pour that in. You're better off pouring less than you need first, and then you can kind of take your popsicle stick, and if there are any little corners that you think you might have missed, kind of just push that in there. I think I did a pretty good job though. And actually, I don't think I need to add any more to her. So I still have some. I'm gonna go ahead and do the Wonderland. Let's see, I think I will go ahead and do the little cards so we can have some little elements to go with our Alice. Let's go ahead and do this guy. It's definitely good to have some extra molds nearby, just in case you do make more than you think you're gonna need. Do the watch too. There we go. So those are full. And I'm just gonna kind of set that to the side, and I will go ahead and show you while those are curing. Whoops. I want you to be able to see how quickly those cure. I'm actually gonna kind of just move this over to the side a little bit and let that stay there, and you could probably see it turn white pretty soon here. And while that is curing, I'm just gonna take the textured heart mold and just show you how easily you can make a casting with some clay. I am actually using model air clay in white, and I'm just gonna pull a chunk of it out of here. And I'm just gonna knead it a little bit with my hands, just to get it a little more flexible. All right. And then I'm just going to, I think I have a little too much here. I'm just going to push it into this cavity. I find that it's a lot better to put more than you need and then just remove it. That way you don't have any creases or seams. It will look like one solid piece. And you could also, if you had one handy, take a nice little brayer and smooth out that back if you'd like. All right, so I'm pretty satisfied with that. It's nice and flat. Now if you want, you can let it dry in the mold a little bit. I am just gonna go ahead and just pop it out immediately. These molds are nice and flexible, so it's quite easy to do that. So I'm just gonna flip it over, kind of give a little push with my thumb. And there you go. It came out beautifully. And so you would just set that aside and let it dry. You can actually, if you want, go ahead and just glue it to your project at this point, and it will dry while it's on your project, especially if you are putting it on a curved surface. Now would be the time to definitely do that. And as you can see here, our magic resin is already turning white. It's already setting up and curing, so that's great. Like I said, it happens really fast. Well, that's finishing the setup. I'll show you, I have a few more pieces that I had already cast and let completely cure. Here is one of the textured hearts that I made with the resin that we're also using here. Here's another heart that I made with just paper clay. And I was thinking, if you wanted to make two of the hearts, you could actually sandwich them together, and even just before you glue them, put a ribbon in there and make a really cool ornament. I could definitely see this painted, and you could use some awesome metallic waxes on it and do so many different cool things with that. And then here are a couple little hearts I made earlier as well with the resin. As you can see, the resin picks up all the detail really nicely, and you just have a nice solid piece that is definitely not gonna go anywhere. All right, that is almost set up. I am going to put my gloves back on. Normally I would let it cure a little bit longer, but for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna go ahead and pop it out. When you pop this out initially, it is a little bit flexible still, which would be handy if you are using a curved surface for your final project. But once you let it sit for a while, it will go ahead and just completely harden. All right, let's see. Yep, that should be about done. I'm gonna go ahead and Alice is still a little bit clear on her feet here, so I usually wait till the whole thing is opaque white. Here, let's pop out the Wonderland. That one looks completely opaque. Just gonna pop that out. And it popped out completely beautifully. Look at that. And a nice wonderland. It's a little sticky. I would have waited a little bit longer to pop it out if I wasn't filming, but it came out fine. The sticky parts bounced right back and it's perfect. Let's go ahead and pop out the cards. Yep. There you go. The cards came out great. I'm going to set those to the side. Gonna pop out this other little emblem. There you go. Seems to be sticking to my gloves a little bit. Okay. And there you have it. You can also just let these set up even longer. I'm definitely gonna wait a little bit to pop out Alice because her feet are still curing a little bit, but you will know because it will turn completely opaque white. You could even leave them in there for, you know, several hours just to make sure, and it completely won't hurt anything. And then when you pop them out, they'll be really rigid and just pop right out. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm really excited about these molds. There are, I think 19 different ones in the shop. So I hope you will check them out and I hope you enjoy them. Thank you so much.